Alrighty, what's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Today, we're going to go over the weekly outlook for November the 24th to the 28th. If you scroll down here, let's go over to the key economic events. So, first things first, key economic events. We do have some red folder news now this week. Core PPI, which is going to be on a Tuesday. Normally, it's not on a Tuesday, but Tuesday, core PPI. This is going to be fairly big with the core retail sales here as well. And then on Wednesday, we have unemployment claims, and they have prelim GDP, and a few other things here as well. Before we head on to everything else, I want to mention today, you guys can get my charts here. So I put it down in the PDF file, so make sure you download this. And if you click this link right here, it will take you to my chart layouts, and you can see exactly my levels that I have marked out on a chart. I think it updates in real time if I'm not mistaken. I'm not exactly sure, but I know at least for all the tech names that I trade, SPY, Qs, futures, major indices, you guys will be able to see my levels updated. Hopefully it is in real time so you can see exactly what I'm looking for, but that's what we have here. Now let's go on to some of the charts and what we're looking for coming into this week. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter pre-market recap. We want to see what happens. Pre-market weekly outlook coming into next week. So we'll see what kind of shapes up in the overall markets. But if we look at the ES here on the higher time frames, we actually just came back right in towards a key higher time frame level of support. So as you can see right here, this is our right shoulder. We have our left shoulder. This is the exact level we rejected from last week, right off our key level, and price ended up pushing towards the downside, right? If we wanted to see pushes higher, we wanted to see the break above, but ultimately, as I mentioned, rejected off a key level. Now, came all the way back down in towards a key level support. You can see the buyers are stepping in a little bit here, right off of our low that we created from Friday, October the 10th. So moving forward here for the overall markets, if you want to see some downside now, you either want to see one of two things. Number one, kind of the rejection off this key pivot high for a push lower, or now it's going to be underneath this double bottom for this continuation towards the downside. If you go into the hourly chart, exact same level is going to be our 6,600. You can see a little bit of seller stepping in here on Friday. If you want to see a push lower, rejection off this key level for a move towards the downside. If you want to see some upside, reclaim above your 6,600. And then the higher time frame, if you want to confirm this move lower, we really now want to see the break underneath our last week's lows for continuation towards the downside. If you go on to the SPY chart, exact same thesis here. Key levels that we have marked out is just going to be this low that we have marked out, last week's lows, 652. Other levels that we have marked out here as well, 662, which is the hourly key point of interest. So you can see touch here, multiple touches. If you want to see a rejection, reject off here for continuation lower, or now it's going to be underneath our last week's lows for continuation. If we can break above our 662, potential flip back towards the upside here. So this is what we have for the SPY along with the ES. Those are the key levels that we have marked out. If we go into the NQ, fairly similar thesis here, not really too much to talk about. All right, higher time frame key level of support, which is this previous break and retest level, touch back from October the 10th here as well. For some NQ, if you do want to see a little bit of a push towards the downside, right, show some more relative weakness underneath this 24,600, or now it's going to be underneath this 24,000. So if we go back onto the hourly chart, these are the key levels that we have marked out. We want to see either the drop, right, potential kind of rejection off this 24,600, or now it's really going to be underneath this 24,000 for this continued push towards the downside. So this is what we have here for the NQ upside reclaim. For the QQQ, fairly similar thesis here. Right, if you want to see a push higher, reclaim back above your Friday's highs for continuation, or now it's really going to be the bounce off your 582. You want to see some downside, lower highs be built, or now it's going to be underneath this 582 on the higher time frames. So that's what we have for the major indices coming into today. If you go into some of the tech names that we do have, as I mentioned, if you guys do want any of my levels and make it nice and easy now, you click this link and you guys will be able to see these levels. As soon as you click it, you'll basically be able to get my full layout along with the levels here as well. So for Tesla, A little bit of rejection, kind of right at this key level, break and retest on the higher time frames. Now for Tesla, key level that we have marked out, last week's highs 424. That is the level we kind of rejected from multiple times. Now you can see we gravitated down and towards a key level of support, which is our 384. If you want to see upside, in my opinion, is going to occur best above your 424. Of course, it's not going to do something like this. That's not as realistic, but for some key levels coming to this week, the first level I have marked out is going to be this 400 key site, 397, sorry. It's going to be the reclaim back above this for a potential move higher. If we continue to show weakness underneath your 400 and potentially get underneath your last week's lows, Tesla does have more room down in towards that 365 here. As for Nvidia, this one recently had earnings. Now we're back at a key level of support. A little bit of buyers stepping in nicely here on Friday. Now what we like to see on the higher time frames is really the reaction that we have off your 184. And then we also have your 174 here as well. So these are the two levels that we have marked out. If you want to see some upside, break above your 184 for continuation, or the bounce off your 174. If we reject, we're just going to see a push lower. Or now if we break underneath your 174, we can see a push lower here towards the downside. So this is what we have for Nvidia. As for AMD, the key levels that we have marked out, this one is right at a key level of support, which is our full daily gap. So we have to hold this level if you want to see any sort of push higher. Pretty big rejection last week, head and shoulders towards the downside, right back in towards this daily gap. If we get into this daily gap, really the next level 180. But for AMD, potentially we can see a bounce. A lot of sellers stepped in on Thursday. So big rejection here on Thursday, really strong push towards the downside. Now for AMD moving forward, key level is your 204. If you want to see a bounce play, potential 204 hold. If we get underneath, we're going to see pushes lower. Google key level, this one's, if you look at the daily chart, it's just been holding up the whole overall market as it's pushing lower. Just mark out your down close candles and look for a push towards the upside for Google. Now, key levels that we have marked out is your 295. So 295 is key here, right? Potential previous all-time highs, earnings high here as well for a push towards the upside are now above your all-time highs 306. As for Apple, really just kind of consolidating here on the daily chart. Not too much to talk about on this name. Just draw out this range that we do have. And yeah, not really too much to talk about here on Apple. Besides that, just kind of mark out these general levels, right? Break above your 272 for potential continuation or above your 277. Amazon, yeah, really not too much to talk about on a couple of these other ones. They're showing a little bit more weakness like Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, right at a key level of support, Netflix. So really the only names that are holding up are primarily Google, Apple, right? These are leading higher, or Amazon dropping, Microsoft dropping. A lot of these other names are dropping here as well. So with that in mind, for the overall markets moving forward, as I mentioned, you guys have the levels. We'll talk about it more in the pre-market prep, of course. And besides that, I will see you guys all tomorrow morning. All right, take care, everyone. Peace.